Hello everyone and a very warm welcome to this video lecture series in which we are talking about neural networks and deep learning. So in the previous video lecture, we have talked about something called logistic regression, and we have basically used the logistic regression in order to binary classify our training example. Previously we had an example of an image in which we were to classify an image as whether this picture belongs to the cat or not, and that was basically a binary classification problem given to us. So in the last lecture of logistic regression, what we have seen that we have an output y, or we called that output as y hat, and that output was basically the probability that the image is a cat image or a non-cat image. And the formula that we wrote in the last video lecture for finding that predicted output y hat was sigma of w transpose x plus b. So let us find out more about what can we do using this formula. And further, if we use this formula, that is sigma of w transpose x plus b, then what we need to do is we need to find those parameters, that is the w and b. So look over to the next slide. So here we were talking about logistic regression, and in logistic regression we have a prediction output called as y hat, and this prediction output basically is represented in terms of the sigma function, and it can be attributed as w transpose x plus b. So here w transpose or w is basically a parameter, along with b is also a parameter, where a b is a parameter in such a way that it is a real number, and w is a parameter that is nx dimension. Okay, so it basically has nx feature if there is only a single training example, and if there are m number of training example, then the dimension of this parameter w would be nx cross m. Okay, and the dimensions of w would be similar to the dimension of input feature vector x. This we have already seen in the previous video lecture. So what this sigma of z basically can be represented as, it can be represented as 1 upon 1 plus e to the power of minus z. So here z would basically represent w transpose x plus b. So this is the formal representation of z. And one thing to mention here is that y is not the actual output, it is the predicted output. Y hat is the predicted output that we have got using this formula, sigma of w transpose x plus b. And here we can also write this notation. For example, if we are using a single training example or ith training example, then we can write this formula as y hat of I is equal to sigma transpose is equal to sigma of w transpose xi plus b. So this formula will now become a prediction formula for ith training example. Okay, and if I want to apply this formula to the sigma function, then sigma of zi is equal to 1 upon e to the power of minus z of I. So this formula will also become a formula for the ith training example. So what here the value of z is, so the z would be z of I is equal to w transpose x of I plus b. So this formula will become quite much specific for ith training example. Okay, for ith training example. Okay, and so what we have basically done is that if you want to apply this formula for ith training example, then following are the notations that you can use. The input feature vector x would become xi, and the output feature vector or the output vector would become yi, and z would also become zi. So these are all the notation that you would use for ith training example. I have very specifically introduced you to these notations so that there would not be any confusions in the further video lectures. Okay, so now we have been given some M training examples, and these training examples are represented in the form of XY pairs. So the first training example would be x1 comma y1, x2 comma y2, and that goes on till xm comma ym, where xm comma ym is the mth training example. And now what is our aim during this logistic regression problem is that we basically want to predict an outcome that is very much accurate to the examples that are given in the training set. Okay, so basically we take the input features and we predict a certain output, that is the y hat, based on the formula that we are being given here, and we compare this predicted outcome with the actual outcome. So this one is the predicted outcome and this one is the actual outcome that is given on the training set, and we basically compare these two outcomes, and based on these two comparison we basically judge that whether our logistic regression formula or function is performing well or giving us accurate predictions or not. Okay, so this is basically the intuition of logistic regression. So the first thing to understand this is definition of a loss function. Okay, so I would write this loss function here. Loss function can also be called as an error function. Okay, so you need to learn these names. Basically these are very important terminologies that can be asked over to you during your interviews, and these are basically the concept that basically checks your endurance over the basic concepts and mathematics. Okay, so firstly we will define the loss function, or what we also called as the error function. So one thing we can do here is, as a layman, what we can do is that I have already explained to you that we need to find the difference between the predicted value and the actual value. So one thing as a layman we can do is define a loss function as L of y hat comma y, where y is the predicted and y is the actual outcome, that would be equal to average of squares of the difference between the predicted value, that is y hat, and the actual value, that is y. So this basically gives us a basic loss function. But you can see in the further video lectures when we'll define the cost function also. So this loss function is not quite much able to give us correct outcomes, because we often encounter some problems while calculating the cost function. And what cost function will do, basically it will find out the error or the loss by taking all the M training examples. But here we have defined the loss function. So the loss function would basically define you the error between the predicted outcome and the actual outcome for only one training example. So this thing has to be severely kept in mind. So what this function will generate an error, as it will generate a cost function that is not convex, and it has multiple number of local minimas. So ultimately when we define the cost function, what we need to do is we need to find a global minima that gives the lowest value of this cost function. And if we use this loss function, then it is very difficult to achieve any local minima. So this is the basic problem that we achieve, that we get when we use this kind of a loss function, that is the average cost function, average loss function. Okay, so we introduce a very new kind of a loss function. I would not tell you the whole derivation of this loss function, but I'll tell you the exact loss function as what is it is defined. So this loss function can be defined as L of y hat comma y equal to minus sine of y log y hat. Keep this notation in mind because these notations are very important to us. 1 minus y log of 1 minus y hat. Okay, and I'll close this last bracket also. So this is the loss function that mathematicians have derived for using it to the logistic regression problem. Minus y of y log y hat plus 1 minus y log 1 minus y hat. Okay, so keep the precise location of y and y hat, otherwise the whole equation would not give you accurate and predict perfect results. Okay, so now we need to study about some of the intuitions about this loss function. Okay, so the first one is that if you put the value of y equal to 1, so what will happen? Okay, so one thing you can do here is you can pause my video lecture, and till the time you can yourself try, as if I put the value of y as 1, then what will happen to this equation? Okay, so what will happen to this equation? This equation will become L of y hat comma y equal to, now if I put y equal to 1, then this will become 1, and this will become log y hat only, plus 1 minus 1. So this will become 0, and due to this 0, if 0 is multiplied with something, then this whole will become 0, and we are only left with minus log of y hat. Okay. Also, one thing to note here is this: I have already told you that we are going to find out the difference between the predicted outcome, that is the y hat, and the actual outcome, that is y. And we use this average cost function where we are finding the square of the average. And what I have basically told you, that we have to reach a global minima. So we basically what we need is we need to find out the minimum value of this loss function. Okay, so we will exactly do the same thing when we use this loss function also. We'll find out the minimum value of this loss function. So or basically what we can say is that we need to minimize this loss function. And for minimizing this loss function, what I will do, so I have to work in such a way that the value of this loss function, that is L of y hat comma y, should be as minimum as possible. So what I can do is I have to choose the value of y hat very large. Why I'm saying this? Because if I choose the value of y hat to be very large, then this log y hat will become very large, and ultimately a very large number, when put multiplied with a negative sign, will drastically lower its value, and it will become a very small number. Okay, so ultimately we will achieve a global minima if possible. So what we can do is we want we want log of y hat to be very large enough, and for this what we will do is we will take large value of we will take large value of y hat. So this is the thing we will do if we have the value of y equal to 1. And now what we will do if we have the value of y equal to 0? You can again pause the video for 5-6 seconds, and you can think over as what we need to do in order to minimize this equation if we have y equal to 0. So I'm telling you this: if we have y equal to 0, then what this equation will become, this will be like L of y hat comma y equal to minus sign as it is. This y will become 0, and if this is 0, then 0 will multiplied by this, and this will whole become 0, plus sign 1 minus 0, this will become 1, and ultimately we are left with log of 1 minus y hat. Okay, and a minus sign has to be remembered in the front. Okay, so now what we want is we want the loss function, the value of loss function or the error function as small as possible. So what we need to do in order to gain the value of this loss function as small as possible and to gain the global minimum, we need to have the value of y hat to be a very small value. Now what we can say is the lowest value of L of y hat comma y could be approximately equal to uh, oh no, what you can see is the value of this 1 minus y could be what, if y is very small, uh, and the y hat can take values between 0 and 1. So if this y hat can take value that approximately touches to 0, then this equation will become log 1. Okay, and that is the smallest value that this loss function can achieve. So if we want here, what we want, log of 1 minus y hat to be large, and for doing this we want y hat to be as small as possible. So this is the case of y equal to 0 and in y equal to 1. So in y equal to 1, we'll take a very large value of y hat, and when we take y equal to 0, then we will take a very small value of y hat. So this is the basic intuition of the loss function or the error function. Now, a loss function or an error function is basically defined for a single training example. But if you have multiple training example, then what you need to do is you need to define something called as the cost function. So we'll write the cost function here. Okay, we'll write the cost function here. So let me change the color of my ink so this is quite easily visible to you. Okay, so now what we are defining as the cost function. Okay, so the cost function would be, now we have already seen that loss function were defined over y hat and y, where y hat is the predicted outcome and y is the actual outcome. But we'll define the cost function over the all the m training example, and this cost function would ultimately help us to achieve very optimal values of parameters w and v, because that is the ultimate aim, as why we are learning about in this video. We basically need to find the optimal values of our parameters, that is w and v. So what our cost function would be, j of w comma b equals to 1 upon m, and then we'll apply this loss function or the error function over all the training examples, that is from I equals to 1, and suppose we have m training example that goes up to m, L of y hat of I comma y of I. We have already seen notation. If we put I, then it belongs to the ith training example, and this equation would ultimately become j of w comma b equal to minus sign of 1 upon m, because minus sign would be taken common, summation of I equal to 1 to m, we'll put a square bracket, yi of log y hat of I plus 1 minus yi, okay, log 1 minus y hat of I. So this is basically the equation which would define the cost function for us, and this equation would basically help us to achieve the optimal values of the parameters w and j. So this was all the concept related to the loss function and the cost function. One thing that you need to remember is that the notations that are used here, that is the y hat, the y, the I notations used for the ith training example, these notations are very important in this video lecture, and these notations would also be used in the further video lectures also. So if you ever forget these notation, you can see this video again so that you remember all these notation. Another thing that you need to keep in mind while reading this video or learning about some logistic regression in this video is that you need to learn about loss function or the error function and the cost function. So one difference between the loss function and the cost function is that you are defining the loss function for a single training example, where you are finding basically the difference between the predicted outcome and the actual outcome. And in the cost function, you are basically finding about the parameters w and b, and this cost function is defined for basically the whole data set. That is, if you are having m training example, you can see here we are taking summation from I equal to 1 to m. So this basically adds up to the all the training example that we have used in our data set. So this is the major difference between the loss function and the cost function, and you seriously need to remember this. Okay, so thanks for watching this video lecture. I hope this video lecture would have been much informative to you, and keep subscribing to my YouTube channel, keep watching my YouTube videos, share my videos among your friends, because I think these videos would be much helpful to you and to the people who are learning from basics. And I try to teach these videos in a very simple language and as efficiently as possible. So thank you once again, keep sharing.